Day 356, sheltered in place. And okay, so where were we? Let's see. I was just in a wheelbarrow race with Goose and drove across the finish line. And somehow my arm gets twisted up and around and completely dislocated. And so now I'm in this like excruciating pain, which I've heard that like for men, the pain of a dislocated shoulder is equivalent to childbirth, but I'm not quite so certain about that. But I was like, I mean, the times it's happened to me, it's not fun, and it's freaking brutal, and it is painful. So I go to the house, the main house there, and ask for a nurse, and they go, well, we have a lifeguard. And so the lifeguard comes over, and she's just a nice woman. And so she had never seen it before, a dislocated shoulder. Mr. Diso, our class advisor, had. So he tried to pop it back in. Immediately realized it's not going in. And now there's talk of, should we call an ambulance? He needs medical care immediately at a hospital. So they debate calling an ambulance because little miss, because they are an hour and 20 minutes from New Britain and an hour and 40 minutes from Hartford. Hartford? Yeah, Hartford. So they decided in the time that it would take an ambulance to get there, they could drive me to the hospital. Okay, well, who's going to drive me? Oh, here's Tiffany. She's 16 and a half, 17 years old, just got her driver's license. And she's super eager. So we get into the station wagon. I guess it's her family station wagon. And she starts to drive. And so now we debate, like, going to New Britain, which is closer, or Hartford, which is further. So we decide on New Britain. I'm kind of like fading out now. I'm starting to go into shock, I think. I definitely was in shock when we hit the hospital. I had no pulse. But more on that later. So we start heading towards New Britain. Now the thing is, in Modus, in the state park, there's all these windy roads, you know, that have not done well in wintertime because there's, you know, potholes and bumps and then that plus the fact that a new driver, it was just like every bump we could hit, she hit. And every time we hit a bump, my arm, my shoulder would just sear with pain. Really awful, brutal pain. Sorry, I had to spin around because the little miss was getting me tangled. So we start driving to New Britain. And Tiffany is like going off telling some stories about herself. And she's just like a non-stop chatterbox. And I really don't know if her name was Tiffany, but she seems like a freaking Tiffany or Brittany. I mean, we all know what I'm talking about here, right? So she just keeps going on and on, blah, 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 blah. I said, I don't even know. At one point, I don't even know what she's talking about because I close my eyes and I just sort of fade out. And Mr. Diso's just sitting in the passenger seat going, okay. Like, he's like, yeah, all right. Completely disinterested. So, a little more than halfway, well, we should be halfway to New Britain, Tiffany realizes that she's on the wrong road. Oh, yeah. She knew that we said we were going to go to New Britain, but she started driving to Hartford. Oh, joy. I don't know about you, but every time I drive through Hartford, it's like tons of construction on the outskirts of town, getting into the city. And that was kind of the case here, too. It was brutal. And then, why Tiffany was driving us, I don't know, but then we get to Hartford, and she doesn't know which hospital to go to. She doesn't know any hospital. She's never really been to Hartford. Mr. Diso kind of looks at me and just goes, I'm sorry. So we find a hospital. And we go in. And I remember this big old nurse, big old black nurse, who was lovely and I loved her. And she's like, why is your arm up in the air? Because I'm still, keep in mind, I am still like this. I mean, the whole car ride, they had a cooler in the back to prop my arm up, you know, to give me some sort of support for sitting in the back seat. But I am like this the whole time. It's been like an hour and a half. Well, I guess it's been 2 hours now since I dislocated my shoulder. We hit the hospital. They immediately get me in and do x-rays, and then a doctor comes out. And I have to watch out, there's a baby here, carriage. And so, little miss, come on. She smells food. So what was I saying? Oh, so the doctor comes out and goes, oh, it's a dislocated shoulder, very easy. Have we had x-rays yet? No, no x-rays. Oh, well, we should get some x-rays. But I can pop this in right now. No, he can't. He cannot do it at all. There's a reason why nobody can do it, which I found out later. Very interesting reason. I'm a medical marvel. So, he's like, he can't figure out why it's not going in. He's like, oh, we definitely need x-rays then. So he orders x-rays, and they take a while, and I go down and get x-rays. And let's pause there, shall we? I think so. It's fun. To be continued. Day 356. Sheltered in place. Ha 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 ha.